All right, so I'm going to do a quick tutorial on nomenclature for sections. So sections, most of the western states set their land up this way. So in theory, this was all, it's 80 chains by 80 chains. Get my overlay up. Which equates to a mile. All right, so this would be 80 chains by 80 chains. And if you converted that to feet, you get 5,280 feet, which is a mile. All right, total are 640 acres. So in this section, so they would break them down as sections and sell them off as 640 acres. Now, the book neglected to say this, but typically how this was done, and for example, nomenclature, and I'm on this PDF is on page 180 of your book. The nomenclature shown is used to designate and separate the parcels of sectionalized land. So when you're reading this description of this type, it's simplified by the following, and the description is backwards. So for an example, we would go the east half of the southwest 1/4 of the southeast 1/4 would be typically how we label that. Then it says the southeast, southwest, southeast quarter, and then east half. The smallest legal size recognized by federal statutes would be 1/4 of 1/4. However, smaller parcels are commonly designated to identify portions of homeland holdings. So in other words, 10 acres was the smallest that they would recognize in sectionalized land, but you see that we've got several here that are less than 10 acres, and they would be like family members. Anything that was less than 10 acres wasn't recognized or need to be labeled. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and erase this off, and then I'm going to kind of show you how it's broken down. So it's broken down into quarters, kind of like our north, south, east, west. That's your northeast corner. And because they didn't divide it anymore from that, it would be written as the northeast 1/4. It's 1/4 of the whole 640 acres. All right, then they broke down section 2. And this is kind of like our quadrants. Northeast is 1. This is southeast quadrant. So there's 4 broken down into there. So I'm going to kind of underline, and you notice that the southeast is the bottom number. Then they broke down the southeast 1/4. They broke it down into sections there. I'm going to put those in blue. So in other words, out of this section here, this is the northwest 1/4. This would be the northeast. And so the smaller section is the number that goes on top. Southeast and southwest. So that's how you would write that one. And it's 40 acres. So that was 160. When they're broken down to a quarter section and then quartered, there'll be 40 acres. And it's easy to remember. That would be 20 chains times 20 chains. And if you figure that, you could get your acreage. All right, so I'm going to do the northwest next and show you how that one works. And then we'll combat the hardest. All right, so this is the northwest 1/4. And then they broke it down into a couple of sections. So this one, they just split it in half. So that's the west half of the northwest 1/4. Then they actually, for this one, it's actually the northeast corner, because that's the northeast corner of the northwest 1/4. So northwest is my red, which is around the whole 160 acres. And then they broke that up into a quarter system. And that one was the northwest quarter. Now the smallest one here is 20 acres. So let me show you how they do that one. All right. So remember, it is in the northwest 1/4. That would be, I probably need to mark that with red. This isn't working too good. There's my blue. There's my blue. So the red is the big one. I'm going to highlight the red as the bigger one. So out of that, it is in the southwest 1/4. So if you call this one quadrant 1, northeast 1/4, quadrant 2, southeast 1/4, and this is still in the southeast 1/4, and then that one was the west half. Now we're going to break it down to the smaller. So now actually we're splitting this southeast 40 acres, and we're going to do the north half of it, and this should be the south half of it. That should have just been south. So there was a mistake in the book. So it'd look like that. So what you want to do is the bottom number is always going to be the biggest. And then you'll kind of layer it, like then the next one would be, if it's quarter down, and then the last one would be the smallest denomination, like this was, of course, the northwest, southeast, northeast, north half. All right, so let's tackle the last one. So I'm going to go ahead and do the red. Oop, got a little too close. I'm going to go ahead and do the red. Looks like that. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight, that's actually the southwest 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and highlight any that have the southwest, because that's the biggest portion. And of course, they don't have a nomenclature for the 5 acres or the 10, well, we could do that 10 acre. We probably could do the others, but they typically don't recognize those. All right, next is going to be my quarter system. So this one. So this is the northwest quarter. If you break that down, this is north. I need to probably do my. If you break this down, my mouse isn't going to work, so it's going to have to be, because if I touch it, break that down, these two are in the northeast 1/4 of the overall southwest 1/4. Now they just split it in two. So I have a west half and an east half. So just remember, when you're doing your nomenclature, your east half was the smallest portion. Then it was the northwest 1/4, and then it goes from there to the bigger one, which is the red, which is the southwest 1/4. All right, I'm going to jump down to, I'll do this 10 acres because there's nothing on that one. So I want to first write that this is the southwest 1/4. So that would be my top one because it's in the overall big red. Now, if I would break it down to the blue, that's going to be 1/4 of, I'm going to write it over here. So my bottom number and then that would be the southeast 1/4. So in other words, it's in the second quadrant. It's in the southwest big one, and in the blue, it's the southeast of the southwest. Then it's actually, the next one I need to write is green. And it kind of goes like this. So inside that one, it is the southwest 1/4. Because in other words, this would have been that quad 1, like northeast. This would be the southeast here. This would be southwest, and that'd been northwest. So you probably could have broke this one down same way. Where the only other thing I would have is, let's say if I did this 5 acres, it's the west half of the northwest 1/4 of the southeast 1/4 of the southwest 1/4. So it kind of looks like that. Like I said, they usually don't recognize that. All right, let's look at the quadrant 3 that has these 4 10-acre ones. Okay, so it's actually here. So the red, I'm going to write that in. There's, oh my goodness, the red I already highlighted because this is in the bigger one is your southwest. Then when we subdivide the southwest, it's in the southwest 1/4. So in other words, I'm in here. So they're both southwest. Now, then they divide those up into 4 sections. where they got a mistake here. And that's supposed to be the northeast 1/4 of the southwest, 1/4 of the southwest. Second one would be southeast, third one southwest, and fourth one northwest. All right, so that's a typical section and how it's set out. I've actually put some extra documentation in Blackboard for you, but I will upload this video for you to use to do your assignment section. And I think I have it due tomorrow night. If you got any questions, you can print it out and let me see it. I see some of y'all tonight, and I'll see some of you tomorrow. If you bring it in, if you bring it in tomorrow, that'll be fine with me. Okay.